Unlock your dream property with Meeks Realty Group, where Rich the Realtor makes real estate dreams a reality. Whether it's residential or commercial, we've got Charleston to Huntington covered. Your key to exceptional real estate experiences start here. Meeks Realty Group. Contact us at meeks.us.
The views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of 580 WCHS, its employees, or WVRC Media. From the studios of WVRC Media, the country, the United States of America, the state, West Virginia, the city, Charleston. This is the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live. And your host.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He's kind of a big deal.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
Dave Allen.
And a good Wednesday morning to you. Welcome to the show. Matt Guitar Murphy, serving as our producer today. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor, text 304-935-5008. We do the show from the Jared Construction Studios, right on time, right on budget. Visit jared-construction.com. Phone calls to the show service. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, Spring Street, Charleston. Texting services provided by West Virginia's finest men's store, Tony the Tailor, on Virginia Street in Charleston. Dress to impress for the Derby. It's coming up soon with a visit to Tony. And don't forget about the suits for your graduations, too. Tony the Tailor on Facebook, or visit bestmastertailor.com. Busy show today, coming up a little bit later on. And we're going to get into this a little bit more on the show tomorrow. But this Saturday is Drug Take-Back Day across the state of West Virginia. And I got some dates I got to give you. Not dates, I'll just give you the dates. I got to give you times and locations for those events. We'll talk about it a little bit more in the show tomorrow, but I'm going to get into that story a little bit later on. Brad McElhinney will also join us. A little bit of a statewide slant, but Brad's always looking ahead at all the things going on in the world of politics. This has to do with NIOSH in Morgantown, and now Senator Shelley Moore Capito has sent a letter out to the Trump administration saying pump the brakes on this thing with NIOSH. We'll talk to Brad about that, plus some other stuff in the news to get to. And as always, your calls and texts are welcome. Bigly, Piggly, Wiggly, hotline 304-345-5858. Tony the Tailor, text 304-935-5008. Want to visit with some folks to start the show this morning that are doing an event in Charleston. And actually, we had them on the show last year. The event is called Guns to Gardens, and it's a community gun-safe surrender, meaning if you have firearms that for one reason or another you don't want anymore, they'll take them. Keep in mind, this is a voluntary event. They are not coming to take anyone's guns or anything like that. Just so you know, the event is going to be May 3rd from 1 till 3 at St. Mark's United Methodist Church here in Charleston. And we've upgraded the studio since you guys were here a little bit since last year. And we got signs on the wall, too. We didn't have that yesterday when I left. We have signs on the wall. So that way, if I forget where I'm working, I can look and say, oh, it's Metro, it's WCHS. Let me start and just have you guys go around and introduce yourselves. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Robert Avsek with Guns to Gardens, Charleston.
And?
Sarah Gottlieb.
Okay.
Dina Moeller.
Okay. All right. So this is the second year?
Yes.
That you folks have done this. Before we talk about, guys, what the event is, let's talk about what it's not. Okay. It is voluntary, as I said. So just take it from the beginning where this whole idea came from and how the whole thing works. Any of you, go ahead.
The idea came from a Mennonite pastor / blacksmith in Colorado. He sought to practice the scripture from Isaiah. They shall beat their swords into plowshares. Mm-hmm. And he began transforming guns, and then the first Guns to Gardens event was held in Colorado after a mass shooting at a King Super there. It brought a lot of healing to that community, and it just grew from there. We were talking earlier, now it's spread at least in 25 different states across the United States. This is the second location in West Virginia, and we've found that there are a lot of people who own a gun they don't want and aren't comfortable selling it for whatever reason, and this sort of event fits their need.
And this is, we want to stress to people, because there was a little bit of, not on your guys' behalf, but last year there were some people, after I had you on the show, I think they had some misconceptions about it. That's why I wanted to start by saying what it's not, and then we'll get into what it is.
Yeah.
This is not a gun grab. This is not, you're not going to be, this is voluntary. And give us an example of something that would maybe happen in someone's life that would make them say, look, I want rid of this firearm.
There are several reasons why people relinquish firearms. And when we went through the training for Guns to Gardens, we were told what those reasons were, and it was borne out last year in our event. We have a lot of people who have inherited guns who really never wanted them. We have people who've had a change in their life circumstances, especially in West Virginia. You have a lot of grandparents who find themselves having young children in the home, and they may not be comfortable having firearms in the home any longer. Sometimes people have developed dementia or some other kind of mental illness, and the other people in the home aren't comfortable having guns in the home. And very sadly, sometimes the guns have been used in a suicide. Now, already this year, we are aware of 2 widows who are bringing in guns and 1 person who's bringing in a gun that was used in a suicide. So in response to the publicity that we've been able to get out there, we've had people reach out to us.
You want to follow up with that?
Yeah, it's amazing when you hear these stories. And, I know when I first got involved with this with Sarah and Dina, I was kind of like, really? People will just give up their guns to have them turned into garden tools? And then when we saw the events in Colorado and places like that, we said, we could do that here. Yeah.
So talk about the event as it was last year in Charleston. I mean, because I didn't have you on. I had you on prior, not afterwards. How did the event go last year in Charleston?
It was smooth as silk. We didn't have a bit of trouble. We didn't have any pushback from the public. The people who came for the reasons that I've described, and we received 26 guns and 1 BB gun.
Okay,
a Red Ryder.
So it's called Guns to Gardens. Talk about the process of how these become garden tools at some point.
Well, we take the guns. First of all, the people who bring the guns to the event, they stay on site until their gun has been completely dismantled and cut into metal parts that are no longer a gun. So we never take possession of their gun. And so they have the opportunity to see it dismantled. And then we have chop saws that are used to cut the metal components down to, so it's of metal that's available to be reforged into garden tools, jewelry, community works of art. In some places have done with the metal that comes from the guns.
Talking again about this Guns to Garden event happening in Charleston. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Bridge Valley, offering custom-tailored trainings to supply skilled graduates and apprenticeships for your company. Visit bridgevalley.edu. Talk about the reaction to some of the people that came to the event last year. I mean, we don't want to get into names or anything like that, but let's just
it's an anonymous event. First of all, that, we don't ask people their names. So, okay. But we did have one couple who didn't want to tell us why they were relinquishing the firearm, but they videoed it being chopped up. And that was pretty moving.
I mean, I would think that the fact that they wanted to video it being that, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb here that there was some sort of a traumatic event there.
That's what we thought.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be. I mean, and the fact that they cared enough to video it as some sort of a closure for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And a lot of people were just grateful. They said, we just, again, weren't comfortable selling it. Mm-hmm. It's been in my closet, and this is a perfect way for me to change this into a useful tool or a piece of jewelry.
So when people are coming out, what do they need to know? I got a gun in my house. I want to go through this process. What happens? I pull on to the lot take it from there. What happens?
Well, you should have it unloaded.
Yeah, that's number one.
If you're able.
Yes.
Or
if you know, like, for example, a widow may not know whether the gun is loaded or not, and she's not about to try to figure it out. So we have gun experts on site who verify that the gun is loaded. Once the person pulls onto the lot, we figure out how many guns they have. We ask them if they're unloaded. Irrespective of whether they say yes or no, we have them tested to make sure that they are unloaded. And then they are taken to a chop saw. The people stay in their car. They're given a shepherd who stays with them and does an anonymous and voluntary survey of why they are there. And they are offered gift cards for groceries in exchange for the guns. Some people take them, some people don't. And then they watch as the gun, or they have the opportunity to watch. Some people don't want to watch, but the guns are chopped up while they are there, and once they are chopped up, then they are given their gift cards and they're free to go.
I was explaining this process about having you guys on the show, and somebody within the building asked a question about the guns, about the security aspect of it. I mean, how do you know that this is if I'm pulling onto the lot and I'm donating, or I'm giving up this gun, you know, how do you know the history of that gun? How do you know where it came? How do you know it wasn't stolen or something like that?
We don't check on that sort of thing. The police are aware of the event.
Yeah.
And
I remember you mentioning that last year, that the Charleston Police Department was a part of this event, right?
And are supportive of it.
Yeah.
Right. And we do record the serial numbers of the guns.
That was the question that my coworker asked, was about the serial numbers of the guns.
Right.
So those are recorded.
Right. But they didn't ask for them last year. I mean, we recorded them, and in the event they would care to have them, yes, we would give it to them. But we don't associate it with an individual,
right?
Because the relinquishment is voluntary.
Yeah, and I think
and anonymous.
And I think it's interesting that you get the buy-in, as you said, from the police department. Now, this event's going on in Charleston that we're talking about, but again, it's going to be May 3rd at St. Mark's from 1 to 3. But it's also, you have another one in Shepherdstown. Is that right?
There was one in Shepherdstown last October, but that was their second one, and so I would assume that they'll have more.
And this is going on in how many states now, did you say?
At least 25.
At least 25. What's your final message to the people that are listening today that may be interested in this? This is your final free commercial for the event. All three of you, you know.
If you have a gun that you do not want, and you're able to see if it's unloaded or not, either way, you can put it in the way back of your car and come to St. Mark's at 1 o'clock on a week from Saturday, and you can watch that gun begin the process of being transformed into a garden tool or
a lovely necklace, such as I am wearing here on the radio.
We'll have to get a picture of that and post it on social media if you don't mind.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
If you don't mind that. And Robert, do you want to add anything then?
Well, yeah, the as it says, the guns to garden, but a lot of different things are made from the metal that's was a firearm. Dina's Jewelry is just one example. Raw Tools provided a host of jewelry and garden tools for sale at First Presbyterian Church's Hope Village last November. So people got to see the end product of what our first Guns to Garden event last May was able to achieve.
It's a pretty nice looking piece of jewelry there. As I said, I'll get a picture of it and post it on Dave Allen Radio and at Dave A70 on X. I appreciate you guys being here. Is there a place online, a Facebook page or website or whatever, where people can learn more about the
Yes, we have a Facebook page. It's Guns to Gardens, West Virginia. You'll see our flyer. You'll see pictures of last year's event. You'll see pictures of Raw Tools, the blacksmith group that we partner with. You'll see a lot of their products on there too.
And if you go over to my social media, I actually have your flyer shared on there when I did the preview of the show. Guys, I appreciate you being here. It's a unique event. It was a learning when you guys first reached out to me last year about coming on the show. I'm not going to lie. I was like, I don't know if I want to do it. But then once I learned more about it, And I learned it's 100% voluntary, for anybody that wants to do this. And you had a great turnout last year. As you said, for your first year, I'm sure this year will be even bigger and better. It's May 3rd, 1 to 3 at St. Mark's here in Charleston. Guys, appreciate you being here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Live Healthy, West Virginia, presented by WVU Medicine. Live Healthy tackles pressing health issues, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's, and RSV. It's a podcast offering insights into medical breakthroughs and preventative care, featuring WVU Medicine's expert physicians aimed at fostering healthier lifestyles in and beyond West Virginia. Great resource. Check out the latest episodes, WVMetronews.com, to the podcast menu and start your journey towards better health today. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text, 304-935-500. We'll take a break. Brad McElhinney coming up next on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses live to make life better for you and your family.
Poca Valley Bank has a new name. We are now simply Poca Valley, and here is why we're changing. Our place in the community goes beyond banking. While we still provide the finest in banking services, we also bring excellence in wealth management and financial planning, accounting, and bookkeeping services. Whether you're planning for the future or managing today, we offer the expertise you need. With 8 convenient locations, we're here to help you thrive. Discover the difference at Poca Valley. Relationships matter. Member FDIC.
I'm Doug Leach, founder and CEO of Ascension Recovery Services. We've done a number of projects with Jarrett Construction. Finding people that really care about what they do and care about what we do is pretty unique. In Jarrett Construction, they care. They're really, really good people. Good people do the right thing, and they're very skilled. They have all the qualities that make up just a perfect construction partner, and they just built us a phenomenal building.
Right on time, right on budget. Call on Jarrett Construction.
I'm John Carruthers, the owner of Best Virginia Heating and Cooling. Here at Best Virginia, we believe in providing a 5-star experience for your family. That's why we're always looking for hungry, humble, smart people to join our team. Our technicians are drug tested and background checked. If you want to work with a locally owned and operated company that truly values you and our customers, we want to hear from you. To apply, simply visit bestvirginiahvac.com or Indeed to view our open positions.
Welcome back to the show, 924. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Snap Fitness. Snap offers a wide array of professional wellness services, including customized personal training, licensed recovery experts, and a staff of dietitians. 5 convenient locations: Charleston, Hurricane, Winfield, Barbersville, and Milton. Visit snapfitness.com for more details. I enjoy talking to those folks. And again, I did take a picture of the lady's necklace, and I will get that posted at some point in my copious amounts of free time. Matt Guitar Murphy is our producer today. Let's go to Brad McElhinney. Brad, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Oh, hi. Good morning. It's an honor to be with you today.
What was that all about?
Well, so first of all, I finally moved 5858 number out from under Danny Jones.
Yeah.
Most of a decade ago in my contacts. And I put it on Dave Allen in my contacts. That's the current host of the show.
Yeah. For the last 5 years.
I accidentally called Dave Allen's cell phone number this morning. So you didn't answer, by the way. You did not pick up. You just left me hanging.
Well, I have my phone turned off. I have the silence, I have it silenced, Brad.
Oh, that's good for peace of mind. Anyway, it was a challenge just connecting with you today through operator error. And that's why it's a big deal to be here.
Well, you're a little out of practice, and we're going to talk about the legislative session a little bit. But you've been working. Obviously, you can go to the website and you can listen to all of our radio stations and the things that you do. You've been working it, but there is a little downtime allowed for Mr. McElhinney, right? And you and others and Stephen and Amelia and people that do this on a regular basis. You got to have a little downtime after the session to wind down a little, man, right?
What happens usually is I wind up having to do stuff, assessments of what occurred and examinations of legislation, reminding yourself and others of things that got talked about early on that didn't pass. So there's a period of sort of reassessment right after the session which really also ideally would be time that you could take a little time off. But it often doesn't happen because it's a bit like, now what did we just go through? What tornado just tore through here, and what damage did the political tornado create? Now it's a little more, because we are transitioning, but the legislative session is now left behind. We do expect a long, hot Morrissey summer of additional special sessions. But the legislature out of town, doing no harm right now. Congress is currently out, so there has been some congressional news during this break, but they are out in communities and not doing congressional stuff. State Supreme Court not in right now. So a lot of we're kind of between things at this moment.
I got you. 9:27, the Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by your hometown baseball team, the Charleston Dirty Birds. Mountaineer Dirty Day with Mountaineer League baseball and softball teams happening this Saturday over at the ballpark. Play starts at 9 in the morning. Will continue throughout the day. Admission is free, but donations for the Mountaineer Little League will be accepted. Need more info, visit the Dirty Birds or Mountaineer Little League Facebook pages. All right, good. I want to get into this now, the whole NIOSH thing in Morgantown. Brad, NIOSH, of course, stands for the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health. And they run a coal mine lung disease screening program, which is required under federal law. They also do a lot of research there. Now comes word that Senator Capito, Brad, has written a formal letter asking for a reversal of cuts to NIOSH, and the union that represents those workers praising the senator for doing that. And in the meantime, a federal judge in Charleston set to have a hearing on May 7th concerning a lawsuit against RFK Jr. over the cuts. Lots to unpack here, Brad. I'll let you start wherever you want.
Yeah, there is a lot to unpack. So NIOSH is a significant employer in Morgantown, and it does a lot of work on researching and making recommendations about ways to make workplaces safer. Among those things is screening and processing of black lung information. If a miner is suspected of having black lung, they'll get X-rays and they will be assessed at NIOSH, probably in Morgantown. NIOSH will do the screening itself, and then miners are determined to have black lung. They have the right to transfer to a job that is not dusty, to a job within their employer that is, safer for their physical condition. That's not happening right now because NIOSH has been, those workers have been riffed in Morgantown, reduction in force. They have not permanently lost their jobs yet, but that's coming up in June. Right now it's kind of an awkward middle phase. And, Senator Capito is concerned about that. She has been on the phone a couple of times with Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the new Health and Human Resources Secretary, who she helped confirm. So, I read into it the fact that she has now sent a formal letter. Does that mean the phone calls didn't work? Is she just trying to formalize it a little more? Is she trying to communicate with constituents a bit more what her activities are? But, Capito says these programs at NIOSH and in Morgantown and the employees and the expertise they bring are important. And, if you love and respect West Virginia's coal miners, this is important to them.
Well, in your story on the website, again, it was a lead story this morning. You've actually got a link to that letter. Surmise the letter in a sentence or two, Brad. What basically was the senator saying here?
So, to my ear, Capito is tricky balance. And this is often what she says about controversial steps of the Trump administration. She begins by saying, I believe in the president's vision to right-size our government. Then she says, she pivots, but I do not think eliminating the NIOSH coal programs and research will accomplish that goal. The senator continues by saying the mission and work conducted by the specially trained NIOSH employees is not duplicative of any other government program. So, kind of trying to she is supportive of the Trump administration's work. This is a cabinet official, Kennedy, who she voted to confirm. And Capito has continued to express concern about the level of the national debt. But, again, saying that these are not only West Virginia jobs, but that the health and safety of West Virginia coal miners is dependent on the work there. So, a bit of a tricky balancing act.
Well, in West Virginia, I mean, you got to be careful, Brad. As you know, you cover these folks, and you got to be careful about doing anything that could even remotely be seen as critical of the Trump administration in the Trumpiest state that there is. I mean, you got to be careful. But I think, and again, Senator Capito is not the only one that's done this. I mean, even Congressman Riley Moore has expressed concern. We had Senator Justice on the Metro News Midday show last week who used, in that Jim Justice style, we got to be careful and not cut too close to the fence. That was a new one. I hadn't heard him say that when he said those exact words to President Trump about this. So got to kind of be, careful. You could be on thin ice with West Virginians if you do anything that looks like you are criticizing or even questioning the Trump administration. In the meantime, switching gears here just a little bit, Brad, the governor was hanging out with RFK again yesterday. I wonder if he required a weigh-in of the of Governor Morrisey yesterday.
Oh, man. So that's a reference to some comments that were exchanged when RFK Jr. came to West Virginia to talk about, with Morrisey, to talk about the signing of West Virginia's bill banning certain artificial food dyes. And there was some discussion of Governor Morrisey's weight. I watched via YouTube yesterday's appearance of Governor Morrisey in Washington. He was on stage with RFK Jr. again at the federal action regarding food dyes, and everyone should be relieved to know that there was no discussion of anybody's weight. What RFK Jr. was at the center of our prior conversation, and this was an appearance meant to deal with the national move on artificial food dyes, but there was, at least not on stage, not before the camera, any talk of these cuts in West Virginia that have occurred under the watch of RFK Jr., the NIOSH cuts. So it's interesting how RFK is at the confluence of these different events, the support by the governor and others on trying to get artificial food dyes out of our diets, but the controversial steps of eliminating West Virginia jobs and enabling the agency that processes the health claims of miners, the miners that we love, respect, and value, who believe that they have black lung and whose medical records could be confirmed by NIOSH if only NIOSH were doing its work.
Dr. Again with Brad McElhinney. Before we let you go, did you happen to hear the conversation that Amanda and I had on the midday show yesterday with Attorney General J.B. McCuskey? Did you happen to hear any of that, Brad? Humor me and tell me you did.
I definitely did, Dave, and I had another chance to definitely hear it because McCuskey was the Metro News backgrounder to hear raw audio of what he said to you again this morning on the morning news, but refresh my memory about what he said.
Well, one of the things that we asked, we spent about 30 minutes with the AG, so we had various things we talked about, but one of the things that we talked about was this proposed meeting between the Attorney General, perhaps other agencies or other folks in state government with the NCAA over WVU being left out of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. And we asked him, Amanda asked him about that, and he says, and again, it was on the Metro News backgrounder this morning, he says that NCAA is coming to town and that they're going to sit down, I'm presuming, with the Attorney General's office, perhaps others, maybe the governor will be involved. I don't know. He's going to sit down and he wants answers. And I don't think McCuskey's a bulldog, man. I don't think he's going to give up until he gets answers from the NCAA.
So I went to the press conference where Governor Morrisey and Attorney General McCuskey announced that they were questions of the NCAA. That was, just a day after the field had been announced and a day before the tournament began. And so it's, good on them, I think, to follow up and continue to demand answers. I thought there might be no result at all, given the timing. So it's good that they're sticking up with it.
Apparently, they've got a meeting. I mean, that's what McCuskey alluded to on the show yesterday. Apparently, they're coming to town. And they're going to go hang out, maybe go to Soho's and grab some dinner or something. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're coming to town, apparently, to meet with Attorney General McCuskey.
You rebook him as a guest so that he can explain exactly how the NCAA comes up with its tournament field, because I think it's all a mystery to all of us.
All right. What are you working on today, Mr. Mack?
So Governor Morrisey has a series of events broadly, and there is one. He is traveling to Wheeling today, to Independence Hall. That comes up at 11. I am not in Wheeling, sir, so I'm hoping that is on the governor's YouTube channel. The governor and his staff are good about saying they're having things, but then they don't really give any hints about what the things are. So you have to sort of read into it. I would assume he is signing a bill, and either it has something to do with Wheeling being significant, therefore he's gone on the road, or Independence Hall might mean that this is a bill that will stake out turf to protect our freedoms, therefore the Independence Hall. But I admire the administration's ability to keep the intrigue going by saying they're having events, but not saying what the events are.
We got big stuff. We just don't. We're just not at liberty to discuss what those big things are. And it sounded like, Brad, you had a little tongue in cheek there when you said something about liberties. There was that a little sarcasm I detected there.
I don't know. I mean, well, so yeah, freedoms is a word that you hear associated with a variety of legislation, and if you hear it often enough, then it becomes part of your working vocabulary. But the Independence Hall location here makes me think maybe the governor he's been signing or advancing policies, has been appearing at places that are meaningful. So he signed a school discipline bill at Ripley Elementary, and I don't think the message was that the kids there need a little more discipline. It was that they will benefit from not having disruptive classmates. So school discipline bill in a school. He went to one of West Virginia's state parks to advance his Mountaineer Mile Challenge, which is for everybody to get out and walk. The administration is establishing hiking zones associated specifically with the Mountaineer Mile at as many state parks as possible. So there is a trend of going to meaningful places to make a splash with policy.
What time is that event scheduled for today?
It's 11 a.m. in Wheeling, and yeah, by the time of Metro News Midday, maybe we'll know what it's all about. It could be semi-breaking news on Metro News Midday.
Well, I'll tell you, let's go ahead and get with the producers, and maybe we'll try to get you booked on Metro News Midday today. Murphy, are you producing today? Murphy's not producing today, so I guess that's Ryan and Stephanie. So if you can, maybe knock out maybe reserve a little time for your friends here on Metro News Midday. Could you think you could do that, Brad?
Have people call me. Have your people get in touch with me. But I will just say, boy, that's 2 Dave Allens in one day.
Yeah, I don't even like that. All right, Brad, I appreciate it, man. We'll be in touch. I'll have my people call your people.
Your cat must feel.
All right, buddy. We'll see you. Thanks a lot. Brad McElhinney, 20 minutes away from 10. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. If you're injured, visit forthepeople.com. Rest of the show is yours. Biggly, Piggly, Wiggly hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony the Taylor text 304-935-5008. We're going to take a break. Back with more after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Brought to you by the Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses. Eric J. Tarr Family Businesses want to thank you for supporting local small businesses.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Have you been injured in a trucking incident?
Call today, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Office 222 Capitol Street, Charleston. Cases will be handled by West Virginia licensed attorneys. The attorney in this ad is not licensed in West Virginia. ForThePeople.com.
Retirement is more than a dream. It's a destination. Yet the journey can feel uncertain. At 4th Avenue Financial, they guide you with expertise and care. They help you navigate the questions. Am I on the right track? Or how do I ensure lasting income? Tailoring plans to your unique vision. They bring peace of mind to your retirement journey. Trust in their experience, proven through every market's ebb and flow. 4th Avenue Financial. Retirement done right. Get started at 4thavenuefinancial.com.
Securities offered through Jenny B. Cole Financial Incorporated. Member FINRA. Advisory services offered through Jenny B. Cole Advisors Incorporated.
Hi, I'm Chris Waddell, Principal and Office Lead for Martinsburg for CEC. After serving in the military, I found my home in Martinsburg. Traveling across the states, I've always wanted to serve my community. At CEC, I get to do just that. Our core values, clients first and we own it, resonate with my mission-driven background. We solve problems by listening and collaborating, and as an employee-owned firm, we take pride in every project that we do. At CEC, we engineer progress in the great state of West Virginia.
Find out what CEC can do for you. Visit cecinc.com.
For half a century, Ohio farmers have relied on glyphosate for higher yields and lower input costs. The Modern Ag Alliance is fighting to keep it that way. Learn more at controlweedsnotfarming.com. Paid for by the Modern Ag Alliance in support of Ohio farmers.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
17 minutes away from 10. Matt Guitar Murphy serving as our producers. They got a text there, internal text, if you will, from my man Rob Reel from our sister station 96.1 KWS that wanted us to remind all the bosses that today is Administrative Professionals Day. It used to be called Secretary's Day, but now it's Administrative Professionals Day. So bosses, take care of the folks that keep your office running. If it's not for those folks, then ain't no office happening. So it is Administrative Professionals Day. And I guess that would be, Murphy, that would be probably Tracy's title up front. Is she our one of them? I mean, I don't know exactly what, all I'll say this, Tracy does a great job for us. She really, and she didn't pay me to say that either. She really does a great job for us. So bosses, keep in mind today is Administrative Professionals Day. Let your folks have the day off. The weather is going to be beautiful. So here's what I'm going to tell you. If you are an administrative professional, take the rest of the day off. If anybody says anything, tell them that Dave Allen said it was okay. You can take the rest of the day off if you are an administrative professional. And if they got any questions, tell them to call up here and ask for Matt Murphy. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live is brought to you in part by Meeks Rentals and Leasing, comprehensive property management services, including marketing, tenant screening, maintenance, and rent collection. Visit meeksrentals.com. All right, we got text to get to. Inside the building, and Leah. Apparently, Leah is also an administrator. I don't know who the administrator. Everybody except Murphy and Dave are administrative professionals today. How's that? So yeah, Leah, all of our fine Ashley, all of our fine office staff here. So yes, we'll give them the. We'll give them the shout out there. Text says, for whatever odd reasons, many people, including local media, that's me, like to dog out our legislature for procedural issues or causing damage. They should watch the Colorado legislature. The Democrat supermajorities in that state run nothing short of a circus in their legislature. Look, if there's any circusing going on, it's not exclusive to the Republican Party. It is. The circuses are being run by whoever's in charge. And, in talking to people, longtime legislators, as I frequently do, and I'm talking about folks that maybe served years ago that aren't. I talked to one legislator who shall remain nameless, who served in the late 1980s, early 90s. And no, it was not Danny Jones. It was a different legislator entirely, who said the Democrats used to really pull some blank back in those days. So it's absolute power. I think that's what it is. I don't think it's about a party. I think it's the power. Hey, a reminder that if you have a child who is a junior in high school in West Virginia or know someone that does, Metro News is again giving away a full scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan College. Includes room, board, tuition, and fees. 18th annual West Virginia Scholar Program presented by Greer Industries, ZMM Architects and Engineers, and the West Virginia Farm Bureau. Deadline, though, is coming up in just a matter of days on the 27th. For details, go to wvmetronews.com to apply. Again, the application deadline coming up April 27th. Text says, you were talking about due process, Dave. I think this was on yesterday's show. Where was the due process for unvaxxed citizens who dared to go against the previous authoritarian regime during lockdowns? Well, says the texter. Master negotiator Donald Trump is retreating on the China tariffs without concessions from China. Trump threw a tantrum, yelled threats, then calmed down, and is trying to get things to go back to where they were. Art of the deal right there, says the texter. Text says, and if MAGAs are anything like J.B. McCuskey and his ability to believe things that and to sprout incorrect facts about Leonard Skinner, we should get some wild spin about Trump's masterful negotiation skills and how the USA is more wealthy than it's ever been because of the tariffs. Text says, it's awesome that all those coal miners will get black lung and silicosis. Capito doesn't care about NIOSH cuts, rules to lower exposure limits to hazardous dust, or penalties for the mines that repeatedly violate safety steps. I tried grace. I tried patience. This is texter speaking. I tried understanding. I tried compassion. None of it could overcome the hate for others that motivates so many West Virginians to vote against their own interest. The leopards are hungry for your faces, suckers. Text says, why is it that our congressional delegation has to do a balancing act when addressing something the POTUS does that hurts West Virginia, but when it was Biden, they were valiantly standing up against government overreach and the worst president ever, says the texter. Text says, the best answer the NCAA can give is play better, get a better coach, and get a life. Texters are a little angry today. Coming up on this show tomorrow, Drug Take-Back Day is happening across the state. I'll talk more about that in a moment, but we are going to talk about it on the show tomorrow as well. Members of the Charleston Police Department will be here also tomorrow. Get you caught up on the latest happenings at Capitol Market with our good friend Evan Osborne. And if you've been listening to the Metro News Midday Show, powered by Salango Law, cheap plug, with myself and 13 News and Tonight Live anchor Amanda Barrett, we've spent some time talking about organ transplants, with April being organ donation month nationwide. We've been telling this story of people that were helped by the kindness of others and their families for agreeing to be organ donors. One of those stories, I'm going to be honest, it really captivated me. Actually, the lady who was the recipient of a double lung transplant captivated me. Her name is Vicki Keene, and she's pretty well known here in Charleston. When I did the interview with her last Thursday, she had me ready to donate my organs, although she said hard pass on the liver. She didn't want the liver. She's a fascinating lady and a real spitfire. She's from here in Charleston. As I said, we're going to talk to her on this show tomorrow. Metro News Midday with myself and Amanda Barron, 13 News and Tonight Live anchor. We're going to welcome in Northern Dave Wilson, to the show today to talk about a recent commentary he did. Mike Patrick has passed away. Longtime broadcaster extraordinaire, one of the best to ever do it, primarily known for ESPN Sunday Night Football. He was a native of Clarksburg, and he passed away yesterday. Voice of WVU, Tony Caridi, is going to join us to talk about that. Plus, there's a horrible story out of Logan County where parents are charged with abusing their autistic kids. Aaron Stone of WVW Radio was at the courthouse last night in Logan for the arraignment of the couple. He'll join us on the show. And as we do every Wednesday, we'll introduce you to this week's wonderful West Virginia. It's a feature we do to spotlight people simply doing good things in the Mountain State. All that and more coming up at noon with Metro News Midday, powered by Salango Law and this and other Metro News stations across the state of West Virginia. The Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Pinnacle Consultants. Their services involve developing comprehensive management plans to outline strategies for controlling and minimizing asbestos exposure, perfect for commercial property owners and managers. Visit pinnaclecorp.net, because what you don't know can hurt you. Quickly, before we go to break, to the drug takebacks here in Kanawha County. Hours 10 to 2 on Saturday. The locations in Charleston are at Walgreens, 655 Washington Street West, at the West Virginia Drug Intervention Institute on Capitol Street, at Fruth over on Oakwood, Kroger at Ashton Place, Piggly Wiggly 5003 McCorkle Southeast, and Drug Emporium 1603 Canal Boulevard. Those are the Charleston locations, and then throughout the county, drops have been scheduled at the 5 detachments of the Kanawha County Sheriff's Office, including Elkview, Sissonville, Quincy, Cross Lanes, and St. Albans. Again, we'll have more on that coming up on tomorrow's show. Text says, Dave, Kavanaugh, Riley, and Miller knew what was going to happen when they voted for Kennedy. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Wait till Trump cuts jobs at the FBI Center and NASA. West Virginia is going to be a ghost state, and I am leaving the state myself next year. We'll take a break. Back after this on the Voice of Charleston, WCHS.
Are you looking for a technical job in the medical field? Generations is growing and looking to add on job-trained physical therapy techs to our rehab team. To apply, visit one of our 7 convenient locations or simply click on us at generationspt.com.
The free Metro News TV app is the place to watch The Voice of West Virginia. See Talkline with Dave and TJ, Sportsline with Tony Caridi, Three Guys Before the Game, and coming soon the Morning News, Metro News Middays, and Hotline with Dave Weekly right on your smart TV or streaming device. Get the Metro News Television app from the Apple App Store or Google Marketplace. Metro News Television is powered by the University of Charleston, the West Virginia Department of Tourism, Dan Cabot Toyota, the WVHTC Foundation, and WVU Medicine.
Adventure is boundless. Adventure is a journey that never ceases. When you hit the open road or the open water, time stops and adventure begins. From anchors away to kickstands up, a continuous tradition of adventure is the spirit that drives Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports. Featuring Royal Enfield motorcycles, for you, a highway, and the horizon in the chase for endless adventure. Discover more at TrojanLanding.com or visit Trojan Landing Marine and Power Sports in Charleston today.
Join the 9th annual Race to End Racism on April 26th at 9 a.m. Sponsored by TC Energy, Toyota, and Huntington National Bank. Every step you take sends a resounding message. Diversity is our strength, and together we rise. Your participation fuels vital community programs, empowering lives and building bridges of understanding. Join us April 24th from 4 to 7 p.m. for a cultural celebration and packet pickup at 412 Elizabeth Street, Charleston. Sign up today at ywcacharleston.org/race.
7 minutes away from 10. Welcome back to the show. Piggly Wiggly Hotline, 304-345-5858. Tony Taylor text, 304-935-5008. Dave Allen Show on 580 Live, brought to you in part by Husson's Pizza. Get a large 18-inch pepperoni pizza and a large tossed salad, $21.99. Eat in, pick up, or get delivery by going to hussonspizza.com. Text says the markets are up, getting that Trump pump, wondering what the next dumb thing he'll do to make the markets go to a Trump dump. That's a texter. The texter's on fire today, man. I mean, they really got stuff to say, and they've been saying it. Jeff has a story posted on the website from the Charleston Fire Department. Apparently, someone hacked into the email system for the Charleston Fire Department earlier this year for the purpose of sending spam emails. The fire department is going that extra step to let people who receive treatment through the department's ambulance service, to let them know that there is a slight chance, very slight, that their personal data could have been compromised. The fire department sent out a letter to all the patients that fall into that category, people that have utilized the services, primarily the ambulance service, from what I understand, according to Jeff's story. They have sent out a letter to all of those patients explaining how it happened and what to do, how they fixed it, and what to do if they are concerned about a possible compromise of their important information. It on the surface, and again, you can go read Jeff Jenkins' story, WVMetroNews.com. On the surface, it doesn't appear like it was that big of a deal. But in today's modern cyber world, you simply cannot be too careful. So that's why they did that. And again, the story's posted at WVMetroNews.com if you want to read more about it. Older adults should protect themselves against severe respiratory disease. Talk to your doctor about flu, COVID-19, and RSV vaccines. Risk less, do more. Get started at vaccines.gov, paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Yesterday, we got a few texts after the show on my little, I don't say rant. It wasn't that. it was just some of my comments that I made about people complaining about traffic, particularly in Taze Valley, which, again, I'm partial to it because that's where I live, and I battle it every day. I just don't, and I had some people that reached out to me and said things like, well, you must enjoy sitting in traffic. Maybe you don't have anything better to do. And well, the answer is you're right. I don't. But I stand by what I said. Look, if your neighborhood, wherever it is dealing with a traffic problem, generally speaking, that is a sign of a healthy economy. TJ Meadows walking into the studio right now, and TJ's probably saying, is this like Groundhog Day? Because I left you at this time and you were talking about the same thing, and I come back in and you're still saying the same thing.
Forgive me, I missed it. What were we talking about?
I was following up on some of the conversations about traffic yesterday.
I was just talking with Chris Lawrence out in the hallway about the same thing. He's a Taze Valley guy too, and we were talking about the widening project.
Okay,
that's going to be going on Taze Valley Road.
That's a whole different thing, right?
That's a whole different thing. Yeah. So like down where the Dairy Queen and Scott Taze Elementary, if you're familiar. My neck of the woods.
Your neck of the woods.
They're going to widen that sucker out, is my understanding.
Are they going to compromise the Dairy Queen there?
That's what I'm hearing. That's if there's a couple different options, and I think if one option is pursued over the other, I do think it would affect the Dairy Queen, and it would have to be torn down, is my understanding. I could be wrong on that.
You start messing with people's blizzards, man. It's a whole different.
Well, and that's one of the old school Dairy Queens. It still looks like an old school Dairy Queen.
It's one that somebody made into a drive-through a couple of years ago.
And so, I don't know if you want to take something like that away. Yeah. I have heard that rebuilding that would not be economically feasible.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll keep an eye on it because that's, as we said, that's your neck of the woods.
My neck of the woods.
That's the mean streets of Taze Valley where you reside.
Streets,
not the mean streets of Taze Valley where I reside. I'm on the.
You're the mayor of Taze Valley. If Taze Valley were incorporated, and maybe we should talk to someone about this. Maybe we should start the movement. You would be the mayor of Taze Valley. I have no doubt about that.
Text here from somebody that lives in Taze Valley apparently that says we need traffic circles.
Roundabouts. That's what they're going to do.
Well, listen, let me explain something. West Virginians can't navigate three-way stops. Do you really want them to go? I mean, you ever pull up to a three-way stop? I mean, in West Virginia? I mean, it's not pretty.
No, it's not. And I'm thinking of I guess it's a four-way stop actually right in Scott Depot where the Kroger and Chase Bank.
That's the one I had in mind.
Folks do not always navigate that very well. No. I'm a fan actually of roundabouts. Now, I used to live in an area and work in an area quite a bit that had them, and so I'm used to them. I think once you get used to them, they're extremely valuable, and I like the way they flow. But to each his own. I'm sure there'll be a learning curve.
Well, we ain't learned it yet in West Virginia on how to navigate three-way stops. So
maybe there's a YouTube video out there for that.
Yeah, so they can watch it while they're driving. That's good. That's exactly what we need. What do you got?
Now that I've just ruined everything.
All right, what do you got on the show today, buddy?
10:06 State Senator Jason Barrett. He was in D.C. yesterday with the governor and RFK talking about red dye bans from a federal level. We'll talk with him. Ryan Schmelz on Pete Hegseth. I wrote about that today as well at WVMetroNews.com. That's at 10:23. Will Boyer with First Energy on their response to all these outages and all the work they had to do coming up at 10:30. 11:06, Brad Mack is in the house. Coming up at 11:30, WVU's Senior Director of Athletics, John Antonik, on Mike Patrick and his passing. They were buds, so we'll talk with him.
Yeah, big loss. Happy Administrative Professionals Day.
Couldn't do it without him.
All right. Couldn't do it without Murphy either. He's pulling the plug. All right, got to go. I'll see you later today. Till then, have fun and love somebody.